Hi everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Daily Endeavours. It's the 10th of September. As always, Timecodes will be in the description for when you want to fast forward, if you're just looking for one thing. And yeah, I'm Jackson, so most people already know that. So this set it's okay. Definitely seen much better, definitely seen much worse. So my advice would be Frost Atronachs, updating an outfit and defeating enemies with Scribe skills. Durables Master It will be quick, but it'll be expensive unless you've already got one of your own, and it's like a purple one that you've already got everything researched for. The ones that work for this are jewelry crafting, woodworking, clothing, and blacksmithing. Any of those writs, they're considered durables. The other three are consumables. And then damage in Battlegrounds, Cyrodiil, or Imperial City. I will go through this one in a little bit of detail at the end, but this is to players only. It doesn't say it in the tooltip, but it's actually only to players. If you damage just regular enemies in Cyrodiil, or if you damage like the guards at keeps, or even if you deal damage to like keeps themselves, it doesn't count. It's only to players. So I'll start with updating an outfit. This is the easiest one by far. You just need to find an outfit station. The closest one to a wayshrine I know of is in Ebonheart. If you don't have access to this, everybody's got access to Davon's Watch. I'd find this one to be quite close to the wayshrine. Only takes you like 10 or 15 seconds to get there. So the cheapest or the zero cost way is you need to have a hide helmet as your option for a head slot. What you can do is go clear slot. For some reason this doesn't actually cost any gold. You go accept and that counts, and then you hit this again to hide your helmet and it doesn't actually cost anything. So that's a free way. If you don't have this, if you've got your own like a helmet already on all your characters, instead my advice would be to go to dyes, just change one of them, doesn't matter what you change it to. It'll cost 50 gold, and then change it back to what you had before, and it'll be another 50 gold. But that's 100 gold. As far as I'm aware, that's the cheapest way to change it if you've got a helmet already active. Anything else, I think, is just complicating matters too much. Alright, so next up, we've got defeating enemies with Scribe skills. So my two suggestions here is either, if you don't have much stuff unlocked for scribing, just get the initial skill that you get for completing the second area of scribing, which is Magical Soul. Use that to kill a bunch of critters, because the critters only have 1 HP. Doesn't matter how powerful you are at that point, it's just very easy to kill a bunch of critters. It's 40, but it's not... It depends. It should be pretty quick though, usually. The other method is to get a bunch of AoE skills and focus on just mass killing a bunch of enemies in a dungeon or in a public dungeon or something like that, just with a bunch of AoE skills. Because if you try and kill proper enemies, like 40 enemies with single target stuff, it's going to take ages. Alright, so let me just discuss what I personally would use. So Wheeled Soul, this is the one you get from basically just doing the first quest. Only takes you like 5 or 10 minutes, and yeah, you'll get Magical Soul. That's like a Magicka single target spam ball. You can use that to kill critters. You could also use something like Traveling Knife as a different spam ball, because right now I'm using Healing Soul, so I use Traveling Knife instead. If you have multi-target on a stamina build, I think this is the best AoE spam ball in the game for doing this endeavor, because the area... It's an instant cast. I prefer instant cast for this. There's other skills that have big areas, but channel times. I don't like channel times because you get interrupted and it's just a pain in the ass. So yeah, I like multi-target here because it hits everything. Hits all the enemies within the area where it hits. Whereas the other versions of Traveling Knife, they don't. They hit everything between you and the enemy that you're targeting, but usually it's the first enemy that you're targeting, so I don't really like that. Yeah, just as a single target, it's fine. So my AoE skills that I use is Soul Burst, which you get from completing the Scrum quest line. I would only personally do this if you're really invested in the game, because Soul Burst takes quite a while to get, and also like all this other stuff, it costs a lot of gold to set yourself up to do use scrubbing skills. Yeah, this is my setup. So I use a single target AoE spam ball, and then I use just some other AoE skills on the side. So Magical Contingency and Magical Trample. If you're a stamina build, just go the physical damage version, which you can get from one of the major skills. I think it's Addons. You can get that after doing part of the quest line. That's the thing. A lot of the AoE based stuff is like locked behind like the completing the quest line. So if you haven't done it yet, I just stick to the Magical Soul thing. Alright, so let's go through what I would do to get this one done now that you've got your skills. So for critters, there's 3 places that are good. Monkey's Rest, the area just east of the stables at Davon's Watch in Stonefalls is also really good. And Alikit Desert in Devad's Chagrin over here, next to Goat's Head Oasis and Devad's Chagrin. This oasis over here has lots of mountain goats, and these also count as critters. There's other places too, you can look around, but yeah, these are the kind of the main 3 places people usually go to. And then once you get here, there's monkeys, or it'll be goats or spiders, like little tiny spider critters, and you can go through and just everyone you see, just kill them, and that counts for the endeavor. So that's one way you can do it. The other way is blasting a bunch of enemies in a place with lots of them at once. Now, with the Frost Atronach endeavor being one today, doing this in Spellscar might be a good idea, because while you're looking for Frost Atronachs, they're found in this side, by the way, you'll be able to kill all the other enemies at the same time, because there's lots of enemies all over this place. A lot of them aren't Frost Atronachs, so while you're waiting for them to spawn, you might be able to do that. Because yeah, there's like groups of like 8 of the little Spell Fiend zombie things, so you can kill those. Just, they're quite tanky, that's the thing. Compared to the skeevers in here, these skeevers are they're not, they're tankier than normal skeevers, but yeah, they're nothing really. So this is my preferred place to go though, usually for killing stuff with Scribed Kills, because instant, so you don't have to worry about other people killing everything around here. It'll all be ready to go as soon as you get inside. So yeah, wherever source 1, you've got 21 skeevers in this room, and there's another 20 enemies and skeevers in this room here. I avoid the crocodiles and the crocodile boss here just because they take ages to kill. So yeah, what I do here is I just pull all the enemies at once. So you get this group here too. Make sure all the skeevers are coming. And that one there. Try to avoid using proc-pets like Well of the Depth there, because yeah, those don't count for killing enemies with Scribed skills. It has to be from a Scribed ability. It has to be a Scribed ability that kills them. Remedy that. So I should also mention, if the oh god, what's it called? Sorry, let me remember what it's called. Lingering Torment, this one here. If that gets the kill, it also counts. So you're fine if you use that one. Just don't use Assassin's Misery, because status effects don't actually count. So if the status effect itself kills the enemies, then you're kind of boned. But yeah, I'll just remove that. Let's remove my proc sec. That's potentially killing stuff that I don't want. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, use sets that just buff your damage, like Order's Wrath, for example, is great, because, yeah, just increase your crit damage. Things like Julianos, Hundings, things that just increase your pen as well, they're all good. Alright, so you got another group here, another group here. So what I usually do is just try and pull all the enemies that are chilling in the back. Just have Vigor too, because Scribed skills don't have a lot of healing unless you sacrifice their damage. So just pull everything at once. Just make sure you heal yourself, because yeah, you'll be taking a lot of damage here. Go ahead with a trample. And yeah, you can see it with a couple of AoE skills, you can kill them pretty quick. Just yeah, be mindful of proc sets and that. That's all you really need to worry about. So Wayrest's one is in Wayrest here. If you've got this Wayshrine, it's pretty easy to get over here. If you've already unlocked it, you can just travel via Wayshrine anytime. So yeah, it's just for people who don't actually have this yet. So go to Gardener House here in Home Tours in Browse Homes. Just travel to any one of these. It doesn't matter which one. This is free, so yeah, just as long as you travel to one that somebody else owns, that's it. If you already own this, obviously you can use your own, but it's quite expensive, so yeah, I don't really recommend doing that just for doing this. Out the door. And we were taken to Stormhaven. Down south here, over the ridge here, down here, and yeah, Wayrest's one will be right here. So this is the door here, so you just go up here, Deception in the Dark, and that's what you're looking for. Alright, Frost Atronachs. This bad boy here, this is what you're looking for. There is only one place I really suggest you even try doing this endeavor, and that is in Spellscar here. because there are a lot of Frost Atronachs here. They are quite tanky, so if there's lots of people running around, you do have just a decent chance of actually getting a hit in before they die. In this case, yeah, nobody seems to be focusing this one for some reason. There's another one. Just make sure when you see one of these things, just tap it and slowly kill it, just to allow other people to get a chance to hit it. Because yeah, there's going to be a lot of people looking for these things, and they've only got a limited amount of health. You don't have to kill them yourself. You just have to have dealt a little bit of damage to them before they die. So here's another one. So yeah, I'm just light attacking. That's all I'm doing. Yeah, and there, yeah, see what I mean? Just fucking someone else with a good damage field comes in, they die super fast. So yeah, just do that for a while, and that'll be it. So this is Spellscar right here. This section is Storm Atronachs, this is Fire Atronachs. It's only this section that you want. Now, there are other locations that you can find some. You can find 4 in Cold Harbor along the icy lakes in this side, but like, it's not a practical option for getting 5 quickly. This is the only one I really recommend, because there's like more than 5 here. There's like a dozen. And they do spawn pretty frequently. There are other places. There's a dungeon in, I think, Frostvault. They spawn. They spawn. There's like Frost Atronachs in the. They're like big enemies that you'll fight throughout the dungeon. But this is a paid dungeon that is also quite difficult to do on your own. So either find a group, and that takes a while, or yeah, do it on your own. It's not easy. So yeah, honestly, this is the only place I really recommend for doing Frost Atronachs. Unfortunately, there are not many in large quantities. It's usually like bosses and shit. So yeah. So if you want to get here for the first time, again, home tours will be your best friend, because naturally you don't have a way shrine to start with in Craglorn. So what you want to go is browse homes. Instead of Gardener House, there are a bunch of houses in Craglorn that you can use. Let me just clear the map a little bit so you can see it better. So there are 4, including Eleanor Private Arena. So Hackfield's High Hall, Domus Rascus, Eleanor Private Arena, or Earth Tier Cavern. Look at any of these names in home tours. For example, Earth Tier right here, or Domus Rascus right there too. Travel to one of these houses, leave, and you'll unlock this way shrine here. Probably the quickest to Spellscar itself is, I would say, Hackfield's High Hall, or Eleanor. They're pretty much right next, like, same distance. But yeah, as long as you enter this zone, you'll unlock Belkarth as the way shrine. So you can. If you're wondering if Ice Wraiths work, by the way, unfortunately must tell you they do not. So yeah, don't run around trying to look for Ice Wraiths. I wish they did, because it'd be much easier dealing with this fucking annoying endeavor. Time for Durables Master Writs. So as I said earlier, you get Jury Master Writs, you get Woodworking Master Writs, Clothing Writs, and Blacksmithing Writs. The only way to get these Master Writs is from completing writ of your own. The chance of getting one is increased depending on how many styles, like motif styles, that your character owns. I don't know if research also impacts that, but I don't think so. They show up in your inventory through the Master Writ tab and the container category in consumables, the unknown and the known ones. In my opinion, Master Jurycraft Writs are the best, unless you literally have everything unlocked. In that case, you're probably not watching this video anyway, because you can do all that shit yourself. But yeah, the reason I suggest Jury ones is, even though the requirements of Jury ones they're like more expensive to use materials wise, the difference is that with the other ones, you need to know the style. So Spirobatic Marine, you don't need to know it for this, and you need the trait item for. Oh, sorry, the style material for the item as well, which can also sometimes be very expensive. If I go into craft bag here, if I look at some of these here, like yeah, you got one for 600. Where's a really expensive one? I've got a couple of these in here, I think. Yeah, so Stendarr Stamp, for example. If you want to make Steadfast Society, it's like $3,000 to buy one of these. Obviously you can get the Mimic Stones, but if you don't have any of those, that's also can be quite expensive. They're usually pretty cheap, but yeah, sometimes they can be pretty bad. Now, if you want to find them yourself in guild stores, you need to go to the consumables category. You get Master Writ for the known ones, and then it's in container for the unknown ones. So if you just type unknown, this is usually where you'll find some. Alright, so if you can get access to one, going to a guild hall with all the master crafting stations set up will make this much easier. It's not really a big deal for the consumables ones usually, but for the durables ones, it's very important. The reason for this is normally, like, getting some of these sets, like Deadlands Monsters, that's DLC, Slowed Semblance, that's DLC. If you don't own these DLC, you can still craft these sets at a guild hall. Like, for example, yeah, let me just show you, right? So, Fire Song, I don't own this. One of the sets here is called Claw of the Forest Wraith. I can still craft that set, though, even though I don't own the DLC. So let me just show you. I can craft a bow here. But Claw of the Forest Wraith is normally found in Galen, which is Fire Song, which I don't actually own. So where's the Old Growth Brewer? Yeah, see? So here it is. So I don't own this DLC, but I can still craft the set. So these are great for just being able to craft anything. Even if you don't own the DLC. So yeah, use that if you can. Yeah, I'll just show you something else you can use too. So there are 2 add-ons that will help for this. There is Doggerman's Lazy Writ Creator, which auto-crafts most like master writs. I don't know if it crafts all of them, but yeah, as far as I'm aware, it crafts all of them that I've done. But Writworthy is also really good because this, you can queue this up as well. But yeah, you can see Scribing Marines not actually known at the moment, so I can't key that one. But yeah, you can use this add-on to automate the stuff as well. So either of those is good. I'll link both of these add-ons in the description if you want to have a look. Yeah, I'll just go over, and it'll... Lazy Writ Creator, I'm pretty sure just crafts this automatically for me. So yeah, it's very handy having this stuff. Now, the last thing is the location of handing in the Master Writ. I personally prefer Deshaan because, one, it's got a really cheap house that you can buy for 10 grand, which you can travel directly to after going to a guild hall to make it more convenient. The other 2 is Growwood. You can find him here, which is also close to Snugpod, even closer than he is in Deshaan. But Snugpod costs like 100 grand to buy. Stormhaven is the quickest by far, but Garden House costs a fuck ton. It's like a several 100,000 gold. So if you want the cheap option, Deshaan is the way to go. So this is the hand-in NPC right here, Roller Salado. It's always this guy, regardless of where you take it. Just deliver one of those, and that'll be it. Alright, last option. Defeating or dealing 200,000 damage in Battlegrounds, Cyrodiil, or Imperial City. Now, I need to clear up something here. This tooltip isn't telling you the whole truth. If you deal damage to enemies in Cyrodiil, it doesn't count. It has to be to players. So this is kind of... yeah, it's kind of bullshit. In my opinion, there's only really 2 ways I would try, like even try to do this one. One of them is to queue for Battlegrounds. Just follow a team around and just try and smack people whenever they get too close to you. Just understand, when you're dead, you're not doing any damage, basically, here. So try to go in with a build that has some... like, if you're not familiar with PvP, try not to just go in with a PvE build. Because, yes, you'll do a lot of damage, but you also die in fucking 2 seconds. If you really know what you're doing. And it also takes a while. When you join a queue for Battlegrounds, sometimes it can take a while, up to even like an hour or more. So yeah, it's not great for time. That's the main thing about this endeavor. The only other option I would even bother with is using Siege. So placing down a ballista, aiming that at a bunch of players and just shooting them. Firebolt ballistas are pretty easy to get. You just need to find a couple on guild stores. That's what I would recommend. Buying them from Cyrodiil itself is something you can do. All the siege vendors, siege merchants in the gate areas and in the keep have sources of firebolt ballistas, and you can like you can get as many as you want, but they cost a lot of gold to get. So yeah, just try and use guild halls, guild stores when you can. The only thing is, make sure you get the one that's to your alliance. If you get a packed ballista and you're an ordinary Dominion player, for example, you can't use it. But yeah, 200,000 damage is not much. It'll only take like a couple of minutes of just actually hitting people. But that's the problem. Like, you're not going to be spending all that time hitting people. You're mostly going to be spending it running around looking for people. Also, Alliance Locked, try and do this at prime time. Try and, just find a time when these populations here are high. Or, if possible, like Pop Locked would be even best. But yeah, sometimes even then, like, the campaigns can be so one-sided, you might find like groups and then not have like, there might just be too much going on for you to handle, or because sometimes it's just like so one-sided, it's not even like, you can't even get damage in or anything. So yeah, personally I just skip this one, but yeah, that's some information I can give you to that'll maybe help. Because remember, with Siege as well, even if you shoot a bolt and then you die, the bolt damage will persist. Like, the 5 bolts do damage over time after. So even if you do die, as long as you hit a bunch of people at once, there is a good chance you'll get a lot of damage in. But do remember, if you die, you lose the siege weapon if you haven't put it away. So yeah, there is risk to it. Yeah, and honestly, very little reward considering how easy these other options can be. Yeah, if you have any questions about any of this stuff here, just give me a holler as always. Or if you have any insights, if you know any good place for Frost Atronachs, just remember, getting 5 quickly, reliably, like that's the kind of shit I'm looking for. As far as I'm aware, I've done a lot of stuff in this game, and I just can't think of a time when there's a lot of Frost Atronachs other than Spellscar. Alright, that's it from me for now. So, thanks everyone for watching. Appreciate your support as always. Take care for now. I will see you next time.